Welcome to our OneDrive for Business course, where we'll learn modern document management and collaboration. You're learning with Mo Jones, IT professional and educator. In this course, we'll get you covered with all the basics. What is OneDrive? We'll take a look at some of the benefits of OneDrive. And once we access OneDrive, we'll take a look at how we can manage files and folders, how we can collaborate. We'll spend most of our time there. We'll see how we can search OneDrive, and we may want to be able to access our files online and offline. So we may want to go ahead and sync OneDrive to our computer. And my favorite thing to do is to use the web applications that's available online. So did you know that you can use Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, Teams, SharePoint? You can use all of these apps online, and you can change the ribbon so it looks more familiar like the desktop application. So this is what we'll go ahead and cover today. What is OneDrive? OneDrive is a cloud solution from Microsoft. It offers cloud storage. It allows you to save your files online. And because they're saved online, you can access them from virtually anywhere. You can store documents like Word, PowerPoint, Excel files, photos, videos, and you can enjoy the security that OneDrive offers as well. Your files are accessible if there's physical damage to your local computer. Files stored in OneDrive can be accessed from any device as long as you have an internet connection. A great feature of OneDrive is that you can share files and collaborate with others, either internally or externally. So that's a big benefit because you don't have to take that file that you're working on your desktop, attach it to an email, send out the email, have your recipient make changes to the file and send it back to you and merge those changes and repeat the process. With OneDrive, everyone can access the same file in a central location and all changes are automatically saved in real time. Well, let's take a look at OneDrive versus your File Explorer. So you're probably here because you are transitioning from working with files exclusively on your computer, and you're looking for a more modern and efficient cloud-based solution. So on the left, we have the File Explorer, and on the right, we have OneDrive. So in terms of storage, we can see the benefit of using OneDrive is that you can access your files from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. For File Explorer, in order to do that, you will need to pay for some other tools to be able to get that type of access. In terms of collaboration is limited using File Explorer. You may have to attach that file to an email, you may have to put it on an external drive, or you may have to pay for another service to be able to share that file as well. With OneDrive, it's already built in, it's already included in your Office 365 subscription. So you can share and collaborate in real time. A really great tool for teamwork. No need to set up additional services and or equipment. In terms of backup, a major issue with working with files locally is that they're vulnerable to data loss. If the sprinklers go off, if you spill coffee in your computer, unless you have another backup solution in place, that can lead to a lot of money and a lot of downtime. With OneDrive, your files are automatically saved, they're automatically backed up. And so in that case, you're protected in case of an emergency. So overall, if you're working on team projects or need files accessible across multiple devices, OneDrive is a great choice. And that is why it is being used by many, many businesses on a global scale. Let's discuss some of the benefits of OneDrive, because maybe you're just kind of trying to figure out what OneDrive is and how this fits within the framework of your business. Well, OneDrive has many benefits, too many for me to fit on one slide here. So here are the most important ones that we can take a look at. Anywhere access, automatic backup of your data, your documents, your solutions, seamless collaboration, online computing. We also have enhanced security as well. Now, in terms of anywhere access, you can access your files from any device with an internet connection, PC, tablet, or on your smartphone. It keeps your files safe by backing them up to the cloud. Now that is optional. You don't have to back up if you already have another cloud solution, but typically you want to take advantage of the backup capabilities there as well. Now we will see you can either back up your files, or the files that you're working on that are synced, they're actually backed up anyway. So the concept of automatic backup is this kind of optional solution. Typically, when you're syncing your files for OneDrive, you're syncing your documents folder. And so anything that's in your document folder will be automatically backed up. But if you decide you want to back up the additional files on your computer, maybe from your downloads or your desktop, you can also do that as well. So it's both a file sync and backup solution. The other one is sharing files with others is a great way to be able to collaborate. You can comment on files. You can have conversations within that particular file. There's tracking features that's available. You can view earlier versions of that particular document and even restore the different versions as well. So you have a lot of control over that document. We also have online computing. So I use the web apps, which we'll call them, or the web versions of the desktop's apps that you use daily. So I use Outlook Online. I use Excel Online, Word, PowerPoint. I use pretty much all of the desktop applications online. I do go back and forth. The online version of the web apps, they're more modern. We'll see that we have some additional tools available, but they don't have the full features that the desktop applications has. So we will take a look at that as well. Of course, we have enhanced security. So our files are protected with advanced encryption and even ransomware detection as well. So these are some of the benefits of OneDrive. We will be able to see some of these in action as we go through our course. Welcome to part 1. We'll take a look at accessing OneDrive online, and then we'll take a look at the interface. The first thing we need to do is open up your browser. Microsoft Edge is the preferred browser as it is native to Microsoft. Or you can use Google Chrome or Firefox or Brave. The first thing that you want to do is navigate to office.com and go ahead and sign in. And once you sign in, you'll be brought to the start page, and then you can click on the app launcher and you can launch OneDrive from there as well. I'm going to pull up my browser. I'm already signed in to office.com. And this is kind of the landing page here. So it just says, as of now, it says, welcome to Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is just a quick page that kind of helps me to get up to speed with what I've been working on recently. But I want to get to OneDrive. So I'm going to click on the app launcher here on the top left. And right here, we can immediately see we can access different web applications here. So Word Online, Excel, but I want to access OneDrive. So I'll go ahead and click there on OneDrive. And here is my OneDrive. Now, my OneDrive is here. One quick thing, you may not be seeing these description of these buttons over here on the left. It may be condensed like that. You can simply click on the navigation pane to expand it. So we're going to go down this list here, and we'll just take a look at these different buttons to see what these mean. The first one here, we're currently on the Home tab. So this one is just basically using AI, and it's keeping us up to date with whatever is recent and relevant. So any files that we've been working on privately or collaborating on, they are showing up here. So here is a file that I've been working on recently, and it goes down to the older files as well. So I can actually click and open one of these files. I can open it right here online, and I can edit the file in here as well. If I click on My Files, so this is where I actually have my files. So I have folders in here. And if I scroll down, I have some files in here. I may want to go ahead and move these into an actual folder instead of having them just kind of floating here like this. So there it is. So from here, this is my actual document library. Now, what I can do here is I can move things around. So I can drag and drop just like with the File Explorer. So I can drag and drop. I can sort, right? Ascending, descending. I can take a look at the files that I've been working on more recently. So newer to older, right? And I can go ahead and organize things by file size if I want to. I'll go ahead and put this back by name. And I can actually drag and drop files. So if I wanted to move this file here, I'm going to, let's see, I'll move it up. I'll move it into this. Actually, I don't want to do that right now. Yeah, let's see. I'll move this one into the collaboration tools. So I'll move that in there. So it's an interactive interface. So I can drag and drop. I can move things around. Once we right click on items, we get a long list of things that we can do. That's in here as well. On the top right, I'll go ahead and unselect this here. So we can sort, right? Either click on the column and sort, or we can sort here. We can change the view as well. So if I choose compact list, this allows me to see more of my content on one screen. The other view that we have is the tile view. So this shows the big folders and icons. What's really nice about this view is it kind of shows the first page of your document, whether it's an Excel file, Word, or PowerPoint. So it kind of gives a nice preview here. And we have these big icons that we can click on. I'll go back to the list view just for the purpose of demonstration here. So as expected, we can click on Add New. So I can add a new folder. It's a great thing to create new folders and add your files to those folders. I can upload files in here from my computer. So maybe I'm not syncing my desktop, but I have an important document on my desktop that I want to add here. I can upload that file right here into my OneDrive. And now that file lives in OneDrive. So any changes that I make will be saved automatically. I can also upload folders in here. So if I have a folder that has 10 files, I can go ahead and upload it here. I can also create documents right here, such as a Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, all the way down to videos that I can go ahead and create as well. So those are the basics with OneDrive. I have a search button up here that I can search either my files, all files, or files in the whole organization. I can go ahead and do that as well. The other option here, as we just continue going down the left pane here, is we have shared files. So here I can see any files that have been shared with me or files that have been shared by me. I may want to come and take a look here to see which files I'm currently sharing, and I may need to go ahead and stop sharing those. I also have favorites. So we can favorite a file and it will show up here on our list of favorites, which is really, really nice. We also have the recycle bin. So if I want to restore something from the recycle bin, you can see I have several files here that I've deleted. I can go ahead and restore a file from the recycle bin as well. So this is just a quick run through. Go ahead and log in. Go ahead and click on these different buttons here on the navigation pane and go ahead and explore. When we come back, we're going to focus on My Files area. We'll go ahead and add some content in here. Welcome to part 2. We'll talk about managing files and folders. So we'll notice it's a very similar experience when working with your File Explorer. We like to create files, we like to add files, and we can open files and we can organize our files as well. So I'm going to go back to my OneDrive here, and I am currently in the My Files area. So what I want to do first is click on Add New. So I'm going to create a new folder. And once I have the folder created, I want to go ahead and add files. And then we'll go ahead and open the files and see what the experience is like as well. So I'm going to click on Add New, and I want to create a new folder. I can give the folder a name, go ahead and give it a color as well. I'll make this one green. And for this one, I'll create a folder. Maybe this folder is for tracking, say some tasks. So I'll say my tasks. I'll go ahead and click on create. Here's the my task folder. So I'm going to click on it. So I'll click on that. I'll make this a favorite as well. So I'll go ahead and favorite the file. I can click on the favorite icon here. Or if I click on the more actions, there's a lot of things that I can do. I can delete that folder if I want to. I can download it to my computer. I can change the folder color. But for now, I just want to go ahead and assign this as a favorite. So I'll just click on the favorite button here. And now, once I click on my favorites, I should see that folder showing up here as well. But I'll go ahead and click there. So here's favorites. Here it is. Took a little while to show up, but here it is. So now I can go ahead and click inside that folder. And it says the folder is empty. And it's telling me what I can do is I can drag and drop files here to access them from any device. Well, that sounds good. So I can either drag and drop a file, or I can simply click on Add New here, and I can create another folder inside of this folder if I want to. I can go ahead and upload files, upload a folder, or I can go ahead and create a Word document or an Excel workbook. Right? I think what I'll do, I'll go ahead and create a Word document here. So I'll click on Word document, and notice how it opens right here in the browser for me. And now I'm using Word Online. I need to go ahead and give this document a name. So on the top left, if I click here, I'll go ahead and call this, maybe this will be the template. We'll call this task template. And I'll press enter. And we can see it saves automatically. So there's no save button. If I click on the file tab, there is no save button here. It's saving automatically for me as changes are being made. Now, I'm using the classic ribbon, so this makes it more, more friendly, if you will, to be able to work with Microsoft Word Online. Typically, if you're doing this for the first time, you'll see the single line ribbon. And so it's a modern ribbon. It looks like this, right? And you may find it difficult to find the usual commands that you're looking for. You kind of have to click on the more options here to get some more options. So what you can do is just change the ribbon display options. So if I click here and choose the classic ribbon and choose to always show the ribbon, then this gives me the more familiar layout that I'm accustomed to. So here are all of my font commands, paragraph commands, and even styles in here that I can use. Well, I'll go ahead and give this a title, and I'll just call this, I'll just put the title here anyway. And then maybe I want to go ahead and do something. You can notice it's saving. It's saved automatically. And I'll go ahead and just give this a title style. So there we go. So now I can go ahead and just start adding my content. And as I'm making changes, the changes are saving automatically. So mission accomplished. I have the draft document here for my task template. So I have all the tools. I can go ahead and insert a table and start building this here if I want to, right? So I'll just go ahead and put a single table in here, and I just want to be able to manage a few tasks. So let's go for a 3x8 table. So this will be the task name, this will be the start date, and this will be the date that the task is actually due. Right? So just like with the desktop application, I can go ahead and give it a nice table style, and I'm good to go. Once I'm finished, or maybe I'm kind of parking this for the moment, I can just go ahead and close that tab, and it brings me right back to that particular folder. Now I just realized maybe instead of recreating something, what if I already have some type of template that I can use so I don't have to create something from scratch. Well, I'm going to open up go to my desktop here, and I do have a document right here called project template. So just some nice information in there in terms of what are the basics of managing a particular project. So I'm going to drag and drop this in here. And there you go. So you can see we can drag and drop a file right here from our desktop or our documents or downloads. I'll go ahead and click on this. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, sorry, not that one. That's the task template. Here's the project template. So I'll click on this one. And there we go. So just a template that I grabbed from Microsoft and project status report that I can use. And here you go. So we have the task in here. So we have a lot of information in here as well. So what I can do is I can probably just go ahead and delete this one. Right. So I'll go ahead and just click on it here and delete it, or I can click on more actions and I can go ahead and delete the file here. Once I delete it, it's going to appear in my recycle bin. And if I want to be able to retrieve that or restore that later, I can go ahead and do that as well. So far so good. So I was able to create a folder. I was able to create a file, and I was also able to drag and drop a file in there as well. So go ahead and create a file. Go ahead and drag and drop a file. You can also go ahead and upload a file or upload a folder in there as well, and come right back. Let's continue to take a look at some of the other management features that are available. Now, if I were to click on the more actions here for this particular file, I can see a long list of options. Starting from the very top, what I can do, if I don't want to edit this file in the browser, I can open this in Microsoft Word for the desktop. And if I make changes, the changes will sync. But we need to first make sure that we have the OneDrive app installed. Right? So this requires the OneDrive app. We'll cover that in just a little bit. I can also share the file, which we'll cover in just a little bit as well. We talked about deleting and adding as a favorite. Now I can download the file. So I can download a copy of this file. Now just keep in mind, if I download the file, I'm basically downloading a copy, right? So a separate copy of the file. So if I make any changes to the one that I downloaded, it's not going to merge the changes there as well. I can also rename the file here. So I can either open the file and rename it, or you can just simply rename it here. I can move. So if I choose move to, I can move it to another folder that's on my OneDrive. I can also copy it to, so I can make a copy of the file. So let's say I'll go ahead and make a copy of this. I'll click on copy to. And I'll leave this right here in my favorites. So I'll copy to my favorites here. And let's see. Actually, no, it's not gonna allow me to do that. I'll put it to the root of my files folder. And I'll go ahead and click on copy here. So it's telling me that one item was copied. So now if I go to my files, I should be able to see that in here. And here it is. So it says project template. I do want to rename it though. So I'll rename this one. And this could be the dev or development. So not ready for production yet. I'll click on update. So now I have an exact replica of that particular file. So again, just seeing what we can do by clicking on the more actions for that particular document. I'm going to go back to my tasks. And let's see what else we can use here. So we have the version history. We can also view the details of the file. So if I click on details here, it opens a pane on the right side. And I can see that it's not shared. Here's a preview of the actual document that's in here, which is pretty nice, that first page. And down here, just some quick pieces of information, the file size, the last time it was modified. If I click on more details here, So just some basic information in here as well. So those are some pretty nice options to be able to work with. And let's see. So for version history, I'm going to open the file, and this is a really nice feature. So as you can see, I've made some changes in here. I did add the report date, the project name, prepared by, and the first 3 tasks. Well, if I click on the File tab here, again, I can create a copy here if I want to, but I want to track the version history. So if I click here on the version history, it opens up the version history right here. So what happens is when you're working with a file in OneDrive, as you make changes, OneDrive is automatically creating different versions of that file. So if you have a really long file, you may see that you have maybe 6 different versions of that particular file. So here's the state of the file 4 minutes ago. If I want to take a look at the first version here, 49 minutes ago, we can see this is the basic document with no updates. So this was the original state of the document. If I want to check out this version, it will show me what changes were made. Notice I'm showing edits, and it's showing me the changes that were made in this particular version. So pretty nice. So if I want to be able to restore to an earlier version, you'll notice the restore button shows up here. And if I click on restore, that basically restores, it makes this one the current version, and it pushes the current version down just 1 level. All right. So I'll go ahead and restore it. Let's see what happens. So there you go. I restored the document. And we can see the document is back to the first revision here. If I go back in there again, and let's see the other one here. Right. So it's not synced, not fully synced yet. You'll run into that issue sometimes with OneDrive. If a change does not show up right away, it's okay. Just be patient and maybe just refresh the file or refresh the document library so that things can sync in real time as well. So those are just some different options that we have. When we come back, we'll go ahead and see how we can share the file, specify the type of access, and be able to collaborate in real time. Let's take a look at collaborating on files. So I'll go ahead and share the file, and then a part of sharing the file is granting specific access. And then once we've shared the file, if we choose to enable editing access, our recipient can edit the file in real time, and we can leave comments while we're working on the file at the same time. So let's see what that looks like if we share a file and being able to work on the file at the same time. So I'll go back to my OneDrive here, and I am going to share this document. So I can click on the more actions and click on share. I can also click on the share icon right here. If I open the document, I can go ahead and click on share right here as well. So many opportunities to be able to share the actual document. I'll share it from here. So I can either copy the link to grant access to this file, or I can click on the share icon here. The share will allow me to do some basic things in here. So when you're sharing, there's 3 questions that you need to answer. Who are you sharing it with? How are you sharing it? And what type of access do you want your recipient to have? So I know that I want to share it with my colleague Adele. And so I can either send the link to Adele, or I can type Adele's name here in the email. So I'll just go ahead and send it out to Adele here. And so that's who. Now, how do I want to share it? Well, right now, if I click on send, this basically sends it via Outlook for me. If I click on copy the link, then anyone with the link will be able to access the particular file. So for now, I want to go ahead and send this via email to Adele. The third part is what type of access do we want to have? If I click on the icon right here, here are the 4 different options. So I can say Adele can make changes to the file, Or Adele can only review, so Adele can leave comments in the file but not make changes. Or Adele can view the file but not make changes. And then there's another one here, can view but not download. So it just adds an additional layer of security so that they cannot download the file. All right, well, I'll start off with, I'll grant Adele review access first. Well, let's do view. So I'll say Adele can view. And then I'll go ahead and change the access so Adele can make suggestions and then edit the file as well. So I'll go ahead and send this out. Now, before I send this out, if I click on the link settings, so if I want to share externally, I can click on the link settings here. And I just need to be careful. If typically you want to stay within your organization, but if you need to share externally, you want to change this option to anyone. So anyone with the link can go ahead and access the file. So I'll just click apply. I'll go ahead and send this out to Adele. And Adele should be receiving a message shortly. I'll go ahead and pull up Adele's mailbox here. And so Adele, I'll go to office.com and I'll go ahead and launch Outlook for Adele. Here is the email. So this is what the email looks like. It just says Nestor has shared a file with you. So I can open it right from here if I want to. I'll go ahead and click on it. So you can see right here, Adele can only view the file. Adele cannot make any changes to the file. There's nowhere to click, can't make any changes. So this is very common if you just want to share something with someone, with an individual or two or more. You can specify view only access and they cannot make any changes to the actual file. So that's one way. Now, what if I want Adele to be able to make some changes? I can click back here. I'll click on Manage Access. And I just want to elevate Adele's privileges. So I'll click here. And let's see, I'll change this to Can Review. And then I'll go ahead and click Apply. So now Adele should be able to review. So I'll go back to Adele. So in order for the changes to take place, I have to refresh Adele's OneDrive here. And there you go. So now you can see the experience is different. It says this document has been shared with you for reviewing. You can leave comments and suggest edits for the author to approve. So I'll go ahead and just make a simple insertion in here. I'll just put the date. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't allow me to do that. I should be able to though, but still not allow me to do that right now. Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead and leave a comment. I'm going to change the ribbon here to the classic ribbon. And I'll click on the review tab and let's see if I can add a comment. It's not allowing me to add a comment, so I'll go ahead and refresh it one more time. And I think I'm running into an issue because I'm using, okay, there it is. All right, so let's see, I'll go ahead and leave a comment here. And I'll just put, I'll leave a comment. Okay. So I can only comment on certain places because this is a table. So it's giving me a little bit of an issue here. So let's see. Okay, looks like it's still trying to catch up. That's fine. So I'll go ahead and just put task 1 in here. And I'm also going to leave a comment for right here as well. And I'll just say, please provide an update. All right, I'll go ahead and click send. And let's go back to, right. So we can see right here. So now that Adele has clicked on that link and is making suggestions for the particular file, I can see Adele is in here. It tells me that Adele is inside of the document on page 1. Here's Adele. I can see the little marker right here what Adele has done. And here is the comment that Adele has left. So I'll just go ahead and I'll say will do. I can go ahead and send it out as well. So for this one here, so this is a suggested edit. It's not fixed. So what I can do is click on the review tab, and I'm going to accept that request there. And then now I can go ahead and type task number 2. And there we go. So that is how we can share a file. And this is the experience. Whether we're collaborating, we are collaborating right now. It's just that Adele has to make changes and have them approved as opposed to just being able to make direct edits. So finally, I'll click here. I'm going to manage access, and I'm going to elevate Adele's privileges to editor. So I'll say can make changes. I'll go ahead and click apply. So I will just tell Adele to maybe close the document and go back in, or refresh. So I'll go ahead and refresh the screen here. And let's see. So now we can see it says editing up here. So Adele is now editing the file. So now Adele can make changes without me having to approve it. So Adele is going to add task number 3 in here. We can see it's an actual change. It's not a suggestion. If I go back to mine, I can see there's nothing for me to either approve or reject. So that is how we can share a file, and just the different levels of access that we can grant to our recipients as well. In part 4, we'll take a look at searching OneDrive. So we have basic search capabilities, which typically will get the job done. But just like with all search tools, we may need to introduce some more advanced capabilities like sorting and or filtering. So let's take a look at OneDrive Search. It's a really, really nice tool, really great way to find what we are looking for. I'm currently on my Files tab here for my OneDrive. And I do have a search term in here. I'll go ahead and delete this out, actually. So whether you're from My Files, we can see the search box here. And this allows me to, if I click on the drop down to the right, I can search for either My Files, All Files, or files that are available within the organization as well. Maybe someone has made a file public that I have access to. These will show up. If I click on the Home tab, I have access to files here as well. Okay. Let's see if I click on Shared. So I still have that search box up there. Even on Favorites, I have the search box. Even the Recycle bin. So I'll go back to Home just to keep it consistent here. And once I click there, it kind of gives me a quick rundown of the documents that I've been working on. Or I can enter a search term. Now I can either enter the entire search term or a part of the search term. It's going to search for me. So it gives me a quick list of documents here, even folders. You can see different types of documents. And if I find what I'm looking for, I can simply just click on it and that will open it for me. I can also click on Show More Results. Maybe I'm not finding what I'm looking for, then I can click on Show More Results here. So I'll go ahead and click on Show More Results. And here we go. So this is the advanced search. So right here, we'll go from left to right. Right now I'm searching all files that has to do with collaboration. So you can see whether it has collaboration in the title of the document or in the body of the document, it will appear here. Well, this is for all files. Maybe I just want to search for My Files. And maybe I want to search for a particular type of file. Maybe it's a Word document that has to do with collaboration. And maybe I'm looking for a date range within the last 3 months. So we can see it's narrowing the search results for me. If I click on More, I have some other type of documents in here that I can use. So in this case, I'm using narrowing it down to my files within the last 3 months, and it is a Word file. And here's the document right here. So I can go ahead and click on it. I can even have a small list of options here to manage this particular file. But if I go ahead and click on open, this will open up the file for me. So a great way to be able to find different things in here. I'm going to go back here and I'll just put in another search term. Right. So there we go. So if there's another file that doesn't really belong to me, but belongs to someone else, I can still access that file as long as that file has been shared with me, or maybe it's a file that is accessible to everyone inside of the organization. So that is the feature here. Now, if I choose whole organization, let's see what happens here. So this kind of changes it. So it opens up SharePoint and it allows us to really search pretty much everywhere. SharePoint sites, OneDrive, Teams, if you're using those different applications. So we can search for documents from there as well. So that is OneDrive. Just different ways to be able to search and find what you're looking for. So go ahead and give it a quick test run, do a basic search, and go ahead and use the different filters that are available as well. Welcome to part 5. So we'll take a look at syncing OneDrive to your computer. Maybe you are already set up. You already have your OneDrive that's syncing to your local computer, or maybe you're looking to get that set up. Well, we need to get the app first. More than likely, if you're using a Windows computer, OneDrive is typically installed with the operating system, so you simply need to log in. But either way, we need to get the application, we need to set up the sync, and then we can manage our synced files. So whether you're grabbing it for Windows, Mac, or Android, we still need to go ahead and get the app. If I go back to my OneDrive here, on the top right, either from the Home tab or the My Files in the navigation here, on the top right, we will see the Settings icon. And right from here, I can either get the OneDrive apps for different platforms, and I can choose to simply sync this OneDrive to my local computer. I'll click on Get the OneDrive's apps first, and then I'll click on Sync this OneDrive. I'll go ahead and click on Get the OneDrive apps, and this opens up a Microsoft page that allows us to download, right? So it tells us right here, if you have Windows 11, OneDrive is already installed on your PC. If you're using another version, go ahead and download it to get started here. So over here on the right, here's the phone version, and here is the web version as well. If I come down here to the bottom, we have it available for the app stores for both Apple and for Android as well. So many different ways for us to be able to get connected. So you would need to basically download OneDrive, or you can click on Start OneDrive. So if you already have OneDrive up and running, this will open up OneDrive for you, and this will allow you to basically log in, right? So that's another way. If I click here, if I go back to the recycle bin and I click on Sync this OneDrive, let's see what happens if I click here. So it's telling me that I can close this dialog and all of my files will continue to sync in the background. Right. So this is going to prompt me to open up OneDrive on my actual computer. So I'll go ahead and click on Open Microsoft OneDrive here. And here's my OneDrive. So I'm already set up. So you can see, I'm going to put these side by side so we can see this a little better, so we can understand how the sync is working. So if I click on My Files, so again, on the left, this is OneDrive on the web. On the right, here is my File Explorer. Right? So right here, this is what the OneDrive icon looks like. It shows up in your File Explorer. Here's the OneDrive logo and the name of the organization that you're a part of. So this is local. Now, remember that folder that I created earlier called My Tasks? So this is on the web, and we can see it's syncing on my computer as well. So here is I'll say this is File Explorer. So there we go. We can see mission accomplished. That folder is already available either online or as a part of my File Explorer. If I log into another computer and sync OneDrive, I'll also be able to access those files on that computer as well, which is pretty cool. Now, if you take a look, so here's my File Explorer. I'm going to just focus on this for the moment here. So any changes that I make here is automatically going to update online. So let's see, I'll open up the My Tasks folder here. So here's that project template that I was working on. I'm going to simply add a new folder in here. So I'll right click and I want to create a new, let's say Excel file. It's a new Excel worksheet and I'll just call this Synch. Synch test 1. Okay. So you can see I had a little icon here. It kind of looked like this, had a little two-way arrow, and then it kind of just appeared really quickly. So that tells me that it was syncing to OneDrive Online, right? We'll check on the My Task folder in here and let's see if this sync test shows up right away. But before I do that, I'm going to open up the project template document here that I was working on earlier. So I'll go ahead and open that up. And as expected, here is the actual state of the file. Now I can see Adele is still in here. Adele is still working on the file, so it's still showing here. The main thing to know, because I opened this in OneDrive on my File Explorer, any changes that I make, they're saving automatically. The autosave is turned on. And if I click on the name of the file, I can see it's stored on my personal OneDrive. So I'll go ahead and I'll put the report date in here. I'll put the report date and I'll also put the project name. So I'll say upgrade LMS. And that's it. So you can see it's saving right here. So it says automatically saving your changes. It's okay to keep working while we save. All right, well, that looks good. I'll go ahead and close the file. And let's see what's happening here. All right. So you can see the green check mark here. Notice it has a little person icon here. So this lets me know that I've basically shared this file. Right. This green check mark lets me know that I can now access that file offline or online. So if I lose network connectivity right now, I will still be able to make changes to that file. Let's open up the My Task folder here. And there you go. So here is the Excel file that I just created using the File Explorer. And here's the project template. If I click on here, I should see that simple change that I made. And there it is. Took like 2 seconds to update, but here's the date and the project name in here. So now that I've synced by clicking on the settings and either syncing this OneDrive with my current version of OneDrive or getting the app to sync, any changes that I make is going to automatically update as well. So I should see a perfect match with the folders on my File Explorer and the folders here on my actual OneDrive. So that's how we can set up our OneDrive. Now I'm going to pull up my OneDrive here. So on the bottom right, you'll see the OneDrive icon. And what you can do is if you click on these settings, it's going to provide this dialog box. So if you launch OneDrive, you'll see this dialog box here. Now I can add another account in here if I want to. I can click on account and I can add another account. But right here, this is showing me the sync and backup settings, right? So I do want to start OneDrive when I sign into Windows, and I can manage the backup. So right here, again, this is optional. I can back up my desktop, documents, pictures, and folders to OneDrive if I want to. So this is different from the sync, right? The sync allows us to access those files from different devices. But if I click on Manage Backup, if I want to, it's telling me, hey, you have some items in your documents folder, 2 gigs. Do you want to back those up to OneDrive? I could if I want to, or my pictures, or my desktop, right? But I don't want to do that. So if you do want to, you can simply click on the Manage Backup icon here, and then just turn these on, the ones that you want to be able to back up. And it will take some time. It will back up while you're working. It's pretty robust, pretty efficient, will not take too much time, and then you're good to go. Down on the bottom, if you want to grab the mobile app, you can go ahead and grab it right here as well. But remember, you can also download it from that link that we took a look at earlier. And it shows us how much storage we're actually using. So those are the basics, right? But the great thing is we can set up our OneDrive right here from OneDrive Online by either getting the app or syncing this OneDrive to our current OneDrive desktop application. Welcome to part 6. We'll take a look at using the web applications. Now, we do have Outlook for the web, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel as well. The benefit of this is basically you have an online computer that you can use. So we don't necessarily need to focus on the desktop applications and installations. So no need to install anything. We can use the existing web applications. So we'll take a look at Outlook. We already kind of looked at Word. So we'll take a look at Outlook, Excel, and PowerPoint as well. And we just want to see what's available. Now, I'm already in OneDrive. On the very top left, if I click on the app launcher, I can go ahead and I can launch Outlook from here. I can launch Word, Excel, and PowerPoint as well. Now, Outlook for the web is basically modern Outlook. I'll go ahead and click on here. And you may notice that as your desktop version of Outlook continues to receive updates, the newer version of Outlook looks just like this. It's basically the web interface for Outlook. We have a more modern experience. We have, it just looks better. It's a cleaner interface, more modern, more responsive. And so here we go. So we have our mail. This is my sandbox, so nothing really confidential in here. So we have our sandbox. Here are my folders. So my inbox, we can create additional folders in here as well. So everything is in here. So really, really nice. Here's my calendar. Right. Different views, month, work week, week. Here are my people. So my contacts are in here as well. And we have some other really nice tools on here like the to-do for task management, bookings, some really, really nice features. The main thing to know about Outlook Online, it's a more modern experience, and you do have access to some more modern features, right? With all these applications, there will be some differences. So just be aware of that. So when you're using the web apps, you do not have all, so I'll say do not have all the power of desktop apps. So just keep that in mind, right? So the list is very small, but there's some things that you can do on the desktop app that you will not be able to do on the web apps as well. Outlook is a little different though, because Outlook allows us to do some more interesting things. Here's the ribbon. So this is what the ribbon looks like for Outlook Online. Here's the view tab, so we can change our different views. We have the help and we have home. I want to go ahead and create a new message. And here is my message. So I can go ahead and add my recipient or recipients in here. I'll go ahead and Grady in here, and I'll just call this web apps. And I'll just put a message in here. I'll say check these out. And we have all the tools we need. So here's the basic text. We can insert signatures in here, pictures, tables, links, files, more text formatting in here. Options, so tracking, read receipts. So pretty familiar. They just look a little more lively. I'll go back to the message here and I'll just insert a quick bulleted list and I'll say check out Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And I'll go ahead and send this out. Now, if I want to pop this message out into its own window, I can click right here. And this will pop the message out for me. And I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and send this out. I can also schedule the send. If I click on the down arrow here, I can send this out. Maybe it's after hours. I can send it first thing in the morning. I'll go ahead and send it right now. And there we go. So that is Outlook. It's a really nice way to just be able to log into any computer and check your messages and manage your mailbox. So really, really nice. Let's take a look at Excel. I'll click on the app launcher here and I'm going to click on the Excel. Now, when I click here on Excel, I can create a blank workbook, or I can use one of these templates that are in here as well. If you take a look down at the bottom, you'll see that it's kind of putting front and center the files that I work with frequently. And it also shows the recent files that I've been working on. So here are the recent files. Now from here, I can go ahead and just open it. If I can click on it, I can decide to open it in the desktop app if I want to. I can share it from here, other things that I can do. I'm going to open this here and let's see what Excel for the web looks like. So here is a small payroll file. And let's see what we can do. Right. Well, I'll go ahead and insert a table. So I'll click on my data set. I'll insert a table. My table has headers. I'll press OK. There you go. Here is my table. Let's see these hire dates. Maybe I want to change the format here. So these are just basic things that we find ourselves doing. I'll go back to the Home tab and in the Numbers command group, I'll change this to the short date format. So there we go. Now I can fix that column. The hourly rate, this should be currency or accounting. I'll go for currency here. And there we go. So pretty cool. So a lot of capabilities in here. You can even insert pivot tables if you want to, charts. So a lot of things that we can do here for Excel on the web. What about calculations? If I click on the Formulas tab, here's the list of formulas that I can use. Right. Let's see if the highly coveted XLOOKUP is in here. And there it is. It's right there. So pretty nice. So this is always up to date based on your Office 365 business subscription. So pretty nice. Well, what if I wanted to do a calculation? Let's summarize the total hours worked. So I can use the sum function here. So I'll insert the auto sum function and I'll go ahead and highlight all of my hours here and press enter. So there we go, 782 hours from our 21 employees here. Right, so these are the hours. So basically we can see the experience is pretty straightforward. It's very similar to the desktop application. Just looks a little different, but we have the tools we need to get our work done. What about if I add another column here to calculate the gross pay? Right. And this is what I like about Excel for the web. We get these nice little pop-ups giving us some nice feedback and interesting things that are happening here. So it's automatically fitting my text for me. So when I enter information in a cell, if it's beyond the width of the column, it automatically resizes the column for me, which does not happen in the desktop application. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and calculate the gross pay. So this is going to be H2, so hours times the hourly rate. And there we go. There's all the gross pay in here as well. Now just take my word for it. We don't have time to go through an entire Excel lesson here, but a lot of things that you can do for basic spreadsheet management, we have all that available here for Excel. Let's see if I click on the Insert tab. I want to insert a recommended chart. Again, just focusing on the things Excel can do for us. And let's see what charts we can get in here. Here's a quick chart, gross pay by division. If I click on Insert here, here is my chart, gross pay by division. We can see Vermont has slightly higher gross pays than total gross pay rather than Maine. Or actually, this looks like, yeah, that's correct. Right? So pretty nice. So that is Excel. The only thing to mention is that the ribbon typically is the single line ribbon. It can be very difficult to work with if you're accustomed to the desktop. So just always change the ribbon to the classic ribbon and make sure to always show the ribbon. If you're okay with the single line ribbon, then that's perfectly fine as well. Let's take a look at PowerPoint. Every business needs to be able to communicate effectively by using a presentation tool. So let's take a look at PowerPoint Online, or the PowerPoint web app here. So just like with Excel, I can start with a blank presentation. I can see my recent files down here. And I can also go ahead and use an existing theme as well. Right? Some nice themes that are in here. Lots and lots to choose from. And I'll just go ahead and pull one up here. And then, so here's a pitch deck, so I can preview it. Right, so here's the pitch deck. And I can click on create, and that will actually create that for me. Here's one. This looks pretty nice, a modern design. Let's see what this is all about. If I like it, I'll keep it. If not, then I'll just create a blank slide and add my own content. Okay, so it's loading over here. And let's see. So let's see what colors are available here. Okay, so these are not your standard colors. These are specific color palette. And here's the font that this particular design is using. Now, a big call out here using PowerPoint for the web app. The designer just works so much better on the web app than it does on the desktop. And so the designer gives us some really nice options when we are just trying to get some more cosmetic appeal for each of our individual slides. These slides already look okay, but if I click on the designer here, you can see it's just kind of moving the objects around on the slide. So I can probably go for something else, right? So maybe this one just kind of puts, that looks pretty good. And let's see if I scroll down, right? So we have charts in here that we can use. Actually, this is not a chart. This is just an object. We don't see the chart tools up here. Here's an infographic, so smart art. So we can use smart art. And let's see what else we can do. So I can insert a new slide. Depending on the theme that I'm using, we have several slide layouts to choose from. I can reuse slides from other recent presentations as well. So pretty nice. I can change the existing slide layout. So again, all the things that we find ourselves doing in the desktop app, we can do here. We don't have the slide master here though. So we don't have a way to kind of control all the layouts of all the slides, but that's not really a big deal because we have the designer here as well. So this looks pretty good. If we click on the Insert tab, we can insert tables, pictures, video, shapes, charts, images. We have the drawing tool that's turned on by default. Great way to draw shapes and annotate. On the Design tab, I can change the designs. If I want access to different colors and fonts, I can go ahead and do that. We have transitions, animations. We have the slideshow. Now this is pretty cool. Another call out here, we can present in Teams. So look at that. That's pretty nice. So if you're using Teams, you can just click right here and present in Teams. We have present live, which is nice. So we can run our presentation and have interactive, access for our audience. So pretty nice as well. We can use subtitles. So we can show the subtitles below the slide or overlaid. We also have rehearse with coach. So get some quick feedback on your presentation skills. On the review tab, we can check the spelling, add comments on the view tab here. Different views, slide sorter, so we can see all the slides on one screen. I can go back to normal. Here's the ruler. So a lot of familiarity in here as well. I am using the classic ribbon here as well. So it's kind of keeping me a little more familiar because it looks a lot like the desktop app here as well. Okay, well, let's go ahead and give this a quick test run. I'm going to apply some transitions here. So I'll use the push transition and I'm going to apply that to all of my slides. Here is a smart art graphic. So I'm going to animate that. I'll use a simple wipe animation here. It opens up the animation pane on the right so I can manage it. I do want this to come in one by one as opposed to as one object. So that looks pretty good there. And let's see, I think that's about it. Right. I'll go ahead and I can click on the present option right here, or I can click on the slideshow and I'm going to run this from the beginning. So here's my first slide. Now it looks really, really nice. It takes up the entire screen and you can't really tell if you're using the desktop app or the web app. It just looks really, really nice. On the bottom left, once you move your mouse down to the bottom left here, you will see the tools that you need to manage the presentation. Going through the slides, you can take a look at the slide sorter here. So I'll go ahead and click there. So here are the different slides. This allows me to jump from one slide to the next. So there we go. I'll go back to that first slide. Now it is using the web, so you just have to be patient, right? When you click, it's maybe an entire second before it actually responds. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so I'll go to the next one here. So this one has my animations. So as I click on the slide or click here, we're seeing the different animations in here that are coming up. The other tool is the drawing tool. So here's my laser pointer. Let's see. There we go. So there's my laser pointer that I can use. Or if I want to use the highlighter, I can go ahead and highlight right here on the screen just to bring focus and attention. And we have the eraser, so I can erase that. And we have the pen. So the pen, great way just to highlight things or draw arrows. Really nice annotation tool. I'll go ahead and erase all the ink on the slide. And the next one here is the subtitles. So I can turn on the subtitles if I want to. I don't think that will work because I'm currently using my microphone. If you want to turn on your camera, you can. I'll go ahead and turn it off. And over here, let me get rid of that laser pointer here, or that pen rather. And over here, I can end the show right here. And I can also click on the options here to pull up some more options that are available while I'm presenting. So once I clicked on there, it pulls up my camera. So here you can actually see your camera here. And you can tell your browser to allow the use of your camera and or your microphone. So pretty cool. All right, well, let's see. So we can see the push transition. It's kind of pushing it, kind of like scrolling a web page here. And there we go. So we're good to go. So pretty nice. Again, for me, the biggest benefit of using the PowerPoint online in terms of just functionality, the designer is more robust using the PowerPoint for the actual web. Now, I do want to take a little bit of time just to take a look at OneDrive security. Maybe you're new to cloud-based solutions and new to OneDrive, and you're trying to figure out, will this be a really secure platform to use for my actual business? And the answer is yes. So we'll take a look at some different layers of security that OneDrive provides here as well. So the first one is that we'll take a look at how OneDrive encrypts your data. We'll take a look at access control, and we'll take a look at compliance. So these are different terms that you want to kind of focus on and get some information on for your business. So as far as data encryption, OneDrive uses in-transit encryption. So basically, between your device and Microsoft servers, it uses SSL or TLS protocols. Right? So those are secure socket layer. So some modern protocols there. And as far as at-rest encryption, so if data is stored in OneDrive, we're using AES 256-bit encryption. So pretty nice encryption to be able to use there. As far as access control, we have really two kind of cases here: zero standing access, and we have what's called MFA, or multi-factor authentication. So with zero standing access, access is granted only when necessary and for a limited time. So kind of, the concept of least privilege. In terms of multi-factor authentication, or MFA, OneDrive allows an extra layer by requiring verification via your phone, typically an app, Microsoft Authenticator that you can use, or another type of authentication as well. When you share files as well, you can also encrypt the document with a password so that whoever uses the file, they need to enter the password to be able to manage that particular file as well. During the share process, you can also set a limit. So maybe you want the file to be accessible for just 7 days. After 7 days, whoever you share that file with, they will no longer have access to that particular file. Now, as far as compliance, general data protection regulation, just governing body, you want to make sure that you're compliant. The good thing to know is that it does comply with that standard. Data residency, this ensures that data is stored in specific geographic locations, right, to meet specific requirements. So your data is encrypted, you have more control over access, and it is compliant with some of these standards that are available. There's two others to mention. We have threat protection. So just like on your local computer, you want to make sure that you're protected from things like malware, and spyware, and adware, and Trojans. We also have administrative controls. So your admin will be able to keep an eye on what's going on, check for any suspicious activity, see if there are any current threats that are taking place. Now, as far as threat protection, it is built in to protect against malware and other cyber threats. A big type of malware is ransomware. And so it does detect ransomware attacks, and it helps you to recover your files in that particular situation as well. So ransomware is all about, hey, we have your files, you need to pay us to be able to get your files back. So OneDrive helps to mitigate the ransomware from taking place. As far as administrative controls, these are more just knowledge that your IT team or your admin can enforce specific security policies, and they can also go ahead and actively monitor for suspicious behavior or any type of threats against the company as well. So those are the different types of security that OneDrive is offering. Again, available from the umbrella of the Microsoft Security Platform. Congratulations on completing the course. So just a few takeaways here. OneDrive is a great solution for your business. We have secure access. You can collaborate internally or externally. We have a lot of control there. And we can take advantage of the web applications that are available as a part of your business subscription for OneDrive. And you can have the best of both worlds by being able to access your files online or even on your local device as well. I hope this course was helpful for you. Until next time.